Asmongold, beyond the screen. In the dimly lit corners of the internet, where millions sit bathed in the blue glow of their monitors, there exists a particular breed of digital shamans. Not priests, not gurus, but streamers. Those who've turned the act of playing video games into something between performance art and a cult of personality. This is the story of Asmongold. June 2014. While society's conventional wisdom still dictated that video games were a waste of time, a lanky, outspoken man with a Texas drawl hit the go live button on Twitch for the first time. $0 in earnings, the digital equivalent of shouting into a void and hearing nothing but your own voice echoing back. 3 months later, 100 followers, like playing to a half-empty basement venue in a town nobody's heard of. $200 in revenue, the kind of money that might cover your internet bill for a month if you're not downloading much. February 2015 marked the first sign that this wasn't just another voice in the digital wilderness. His first viral World of Warcraft rant, $1,500 in earnings. Not life-changing money, but enough to make you think twice about whether this whole streaming thing might actually work. By July 2015, 1,000 followers, $3,000 in earnings. The digital equivalent of upgrading from playing street corners to actual venues with actual microphones. Still not enough to quit your day job, but enough to make you wonder if maybe, just maybe, you should. January 2016, the moment every digital nomad dreams of, the first corporate sponsorship. A gaming gear company slides into the DMs with $10,000. Suddenly, the fantasy of telling your boss to shove it becomes slightly more tangible. May 2016, 10,000 followers, $25,000 in revenue. The point at which parents stop asking, when are you going to get a real job? And start asking, so how exactly does this streaming thing work? The answer, of course, being, I have no idea, but people keep watching. November 2016 saw the birth of Transmog Competitions, Asmongold's version of a recurring segment where players show off their characters' outfits for judgment and prizes. $50,000 in revenue, the digital equivalent of finding your signature move, the thing the crowd chants for night after night. April 2017, 100,000 followers, $120,000 in revenue. The point at which what once seemed like a ridiculous pipe dream begins to look remarkably like a career. 2 awards under his belt. The validation that comes not from critics, but from the masses who tune in day after day. August 2017. YouTube channel created. An expansion of the empire. Diversification of the portfolio. $20,000 in additional revenue. Like a musician releasing their tracks on a new platform, reaching ears that might never have found them otherwise. March 2018, 1 million followers, $600,000 in revenue, the streaming equivalent of playing arenas instead of clubs. The moment when you realize you're no longer an up-and-comer, you've arrived. The strange vertigo of going from speaking to a few dozen people to addressing a digital stadium. September 2018, the first 100K donation month. The point at which the absurdity of internet fame truly crystallizes. Strangers giving you more money in a month than many make in a year, all for the privilege of seeing their username flash across a screen for 3 seconds. January 2019, the React Andy era begins. The discovery that you no longer need to actually play games to entertain. You can simply watch videos and react to them. 0 additional revenue on paper, but in practice, a revelation about the nature of modern entertainment. People aren't watching for the game, they're watching for you. June 2019, 2 million followers, $1,200,000 in revenue, 4 awards, the digital equivalent of platinum albums hanging on the wall, the strange disconnect of sitting alone in a room while simultaneously performing for a crowd the size of a small city. November 2019, first TV appearance. The awkward collision of new media and old. 0 additional revenue, but a legitimacy in the eyes of those who still don't understand that traditional media is no longer the gatekeeper it once was. May 2020. The infamous Twitch leaks reveal a $2 million plus yearly revenue. The moment when the veil drops, and the world sees what many suspected but few could confirm. That sitting in a chair talking about video games can make you richer than surgeons, attorneys, and many CEOs. July 2021. Final Fantasy XIV. Streams go viral. $2,500,000 in revenue. The counterintuitive discovery that your audience will follow you even when you betray the very game that made you famous. Turns out, they weren't there for World of Warcraft after all. They were there for you. December 2021, 3 million followers. $1,500,000 in revenue. 5 awards. The point at which you've been doing this so long that streaming no longer feels like a job. It feels like who you are. February 2022. Co-founder of OTK Network. $3 million in revenue. The transformation from solo performer to media mogul. The realization that the empire you've built can be bigger than just you. June 2022. Zach Rower, IRL reveal. The strange moment when the persona and the person blur. When the audience gets a glimpse behind the curtain and realizes there might be no curtain at all. Just a man in a room sharing his thoughts with millions. November 2022. 4 million followers. $2 million in revenue. 6 awards. The digital equivalent of filling stadiums nightly. The bizarre reality that more people watch you play video games than will attend most professional sporting events. March 2023. Forbes reports $12 million net worth. The moment when the financial pages start treating you like the business you've become. Zero additional revenue from the article itself, but the legitimacy that comes with being acknowledged by the institutions that once would have scoffed at your very existence. August 2023. WoW Classic Hardcore Domination. $3 million in revenue. 7 awards. The satisfying return to your roots, proving that you haven't lost your touch with the game that started it all. January 2024. 5 million followers. $2,500,000 in revenue. The strange realization that you're now one of the old guard in an industry that barely existed when you started. April 2024. Clean desk meme era. The peculiar phenomenon of internet fame, where the state of your workspace becomes as much a part of your brand as your content. Zero additional revenue directly, but cultural capital that's impossible to quantify. July 2024. Projected $18 million net worth. The point at which the numbers become so large, they lose meaning. When you've long passed the threshold of having more money than you could reasonably spend. September 2024. First game dev collaboration. $1,500,000 in revenue. 8 awards. The evolution from commentator to creator. From consuming content to producing it. Looking ahead, the projections continue. 6 million followers by February 2025. A documentary announcement. A projected $25 million net worth. 9 industry awards. The numbers blur together, each milestone becoming simultaneously more impressive and less meaningful. In the end, what Asmongold created wasn't just content, it was community. A digital gathering place where millions came not just for entertainment, but for belonging. His journey from 0 to 6 million followers isn't just about the money, although there's certainly plenty of that. It's about connection in a world increasingly starved for authenticity. And if you're wondering what any of this has to do with anything of substance, maybe nothing. But I suspect Zach understands better than most what I've always known, that in a world of increasing isolation, we'll gather wherever we can, around whatever common interests we have, just to feel less alone.